Welcome to this week. I hope he pointed at me. I can't see the point. Welcome to this week's edition of the Sports Scoop Coaches Show. Joining the blind man, Kugath, is old faithful Ted Hammond.
Ray Charles.
And also joining us is the head baseball coach of Waseca, Joel. Oh, yeah, he'll be with us when baseball starts, right? To talk about his team.
Okay.
Okay.
I think he's at prom.
Yeah.
I think that, okay.
Oh, you're hitting a touch.
I know.
Well, let's start backwards, and let's start with tennis, with Kyle Collins and the crew. The Jays, as we have mentioned, very, very young this year.
Oh, man, yeah.
I think a 7th grader and 3 or 4 8th graders are on their varsity 10. They are 1-8 for the year, and I see they went up to Pine City yesterday and played in always kind of a prestigious tournament up there and could only muster 3 points to finish last among the 8 teams, and St. Peter won that tournament. So that's the kind of competition the Jays are facing with some youngsters.
Oh, I just remember seeing the name Charlie Hutmeyer.
Yep.
I like that name. Hutmeyer.
Yep.
And he's only 7th grader.
Right.
So the future looks bright, but again, only a couple of years for those kids to mature.
Yep.
And right now they're going to pay their dues, and then they'll collect their dividends later on.
The golf team, Teddy, and before I turn you loose, I'm going to thank our correspondent down south, Grant Berg. Grant, unfortunately, I'm having a hard time seeing, so I deleted half of the stuff you sent me on Brad Wood's golf team. But the one thing I did catch is they had their conference tournament at Blooming Prairie last week. The boys came in last.
Okay. You ever played Blooming Prairie?
Yes.
Okay. It's
Yes.
kind of like sponge on the first.
Very spongy.
Yeah.
Yep. Up and down a little bit, and it's a fun little course.
It is, but not to finish last on.
Right.
Okay.
Teddy, turn us loose on the Blue Jays.
We had big week for the girls and just one match for the boys. We played Monday. We played Fairmont. Needed to get a conference win at home. Finally got a conference win at home both ways. Girls won 206-226, and the boys won 176-196. So we had 20-stroke victories on both sides. And we didn't really shoot that well for the girls. 206 for us isn't very good, but Sydney O'Brien led us with a 50, and then a little freshman, Hannah Potter. And freshman,
All right, yeah. That's a name to remember.
No,
she's an 8th grader.
Yeah, 8th grader. I'm trying to rush her a little bit.
Yep.
But she shot a 50 also, and it's just a matter of time when she's going to be getting in the 40s consistently once she keeps playing. Then we had Crystal Caribou had a 52, and Megan Filson had a 54. One thing we had going for us was we had variety shows, so all I had to do is worry about practice.
Right.
We had to get to that for the dress rehearsals and everything else. So we got that out of the way. And the boys, like I said, they came in with a 176, and that's starting to come down where we need to be. Andrew Weber finally got in the 30s. He shot a 39. He wasn't worried about the variety show. And Griffin Seifert, the little 7th grader, comes in with a 44, and Jackson Priebe had a 46. That's good to see. Jackson was kind of struggling, and he dropped down to JV for a while. Now he's moved back up in the varsity slot. We had a 47 from Nick Rowling. Nick should come lower than that. He's kind of been in a funk. We call it Funky Town. We play that song. And we're out of Funky Town now. I think the scores are going to start coming down. And then we had Andrew Kaiser, kind of goes at number 6 and then maybe number 1 JV, flip-flops back and forth. He had a 49. And then little Sammy O'Brien probably had his worst round of the season, the 8th grader. He had a 51. And he's a little bounce back. He's just a youngster. He doesn't know any better. So he'll be back down to 40s. So we had a good week for the boys. The JVs, we had a 43 from Gabe Stace. And so if I only knew which one of these kids from like number 4 through 8, you don't know which one's going to produce. Yep. And if I could pick them right.
Got to go with your gut.
You got to go with your gut. But you take, Gabe with a 43, and that would replace a 47. Yep. That makes a big difference. So all in all, nice week for the boys. That was it. They had a Monday match. Girls, then we went Tuesday to St. Peter. Had a 10-team meet there like the boys did the week before, and a team from Egan came down from the cities, and they had 356, which is really good for a girls team. So they won it no problem. And then second place is St. Peter, the home course. They have Anna Amos. She was a medalist with an 82. Obviously, that shoreline course, if you know it, you know how to play it right, and she knows how to play it. And then we finished in 4th place, one behind Annandale. Annandale is, for those who don't know, is John Bendick's hometown, and Dan Jensen too. So we lost them by 1, and we did shoot that well. We shot enough to be competitive, but we need to get lower scores, especially when you go on 18 holes. And all the tournaments are going to be 18 holes. Sydney O'Brien's been fighting a shoulder injury. She has a severely, almost like tendonitis in her deltoid muscle. It's very, very painful. She couldn't even carry a bag on her right shoulder. Unfortunately, you carry your bags, but now in this day and age, you can take a cart. So I'm going to maybe talk her into, it's kind of like...
Oh, you can now, huh?
Well, yeah. They just, push carts. And when you get to the ridges over at the state tournament, you want a push cart. We used it last year, but it's kind of like a macho thing even for the girls. You don't use the cart, Well, we might need it, especially in that hilly shoreline course they had over there. So Sid came through it, and she had a 98, but medalist was Crystal Caribou. She had 94. And then Hannah Potter broke 100 with a 98, so she's consistently now getting in the 40s on both nines. So we ended up with 394. Anytime below 100 per girl, 400 for a score, we think that's pretty good. We'll have to get down into the 370s. We're going to compete it all for going on the postseason. That was it for Tuesday. That was kind of fun because it's just a van ride. You only take the 6 girls, and it's like I don't exist. I'm sitting here driving, and they're going over gossip and stuff that I don't need to know. But it's unbelievable. You can learn in those rides. I mean, whatever happens in the van is supposed to stay in the van.
And as long as the short-term rumor's all right, Teddy, you're in gold country.
Yeah. Was I there last Tuesday? I don't. Yeah, but it's amazing. So we went to Jake's Tater Pizza afterwards, and they just love it. You walk in there, and you ever been to Jake's lately?
Oh yeah, not lately.
Okay, I mean with that new building they got in Mankato and the one they got in St. Peter, it was fun. It was a good drive, and we stopped at some other place on the way home. Not to tell anybody any secrets, but the girls didn't want to get back in time for some practice for variety show or something. So we had to stop at a place in Legion. Okay, Thirsty Beaver. No, well, that's no. It was Al's. What was it? Alley's Shop or something. It was an ice cream store. I recommend it if you can find it. It's in the alley. But we got there, and the guy gave us all kinds of, it was like bubble gum, ice cream and stuff like that. It was a nice place. Humanistic story. Anyhow, got home, and then Thursday we turned right around again to the girls, and they had a Mankato East match, which was fun because Aaron Anderson, the old hockey coach in Waseca, is now the girls golf coach over at East, and they came into town, and they were, they got there early. They got there before my girls were there. We're supposed to have an 18-hole match, and we said we'd just go 9 because of the variety show. So they got there like at 10 after 2, and my girls don't release from school till 2:30. So they're hanging around out there in the putting green and everything. Andy and I caught up in the old days, and the end result was we beat them pretty easily. We had a 189. Sydney, even with her bum shoulder, had a 42, which is good for her. And then we had everybody else packing together. We had Megan Filson. It's good to see Megan come around, senior. She had a 48. We had a 49 from Caitlin Altman. And then we had 250s from Crystal and Jenna, let's see, who else? Hannah Potter. And then Jenna Nelson came with a 57. So we had a 189 for the top 4 girls. And then it was, let's see, 257 for the East girls? No, 207. Okay, I was looking at the JV. So all in all for the girls, 4th place finish, could have been 3rd. And then won both the other matches. So we were peaking at the right time.
Good week, yeah.
And then tomorrow, this is Sunday morning, Mother's Day, obviously, with the hat on. And then we got.
Well, I'm glad you explained what that was for.
This is my mom's hat. She used to wear it all the time, and I don't know if I got it on backwards or not. The bow here, I don't know if it goes on the side, the back, or the front. I don't remember. I don't have pictures.
I'm sure whichever way you wear it, Teddy, will be a new style trend that takes place.
Mom's proud.
But she's looking down right now, saying, "There's my Teddy John." Yes, sir. We got a match on Monday. We have to go to St. James, long match, and St. James doesn't have a team for the guys. They got 2 guys. So we're going to take on Medelia, and then the 2 gentlemen from St. James will also get on the course. The girls, they have a full team, so we'll be able to play them. And then also the Medelia girls are going to show, so we'll see what happens with that. Hopefully the course isn't too crowded, and it's a long trip to go on a Monday, but we should be rested up after the weekend. And then that's basically it for the only match all week. And then we've got, the following Monday, we got the New Richland tournament in Waseca, so we'll be a visitor for Brad Ruth's tournament. And then we have another match the next day on Tuesday with Blue Earth, and the season's over with. That's it. And I know. And then we got the Big 12 conference, and then or Big South. I don't know why I call it the Big 12 all the time, but the Big South conference meet. And so the rest of the kids, the DVs, remember, they're done. Unbelievable. I'm done.
It was a good week for the Blue Jay golfers.
Excellent week.
Track and field teams, and believe it or not, Teddy, before I went blind and started pushing delete buttons when I didn't mean to, I did get one New Richland result for the week. They went down to the big tournament in Byron. The boys were 6 out of 7 teams. They set a new school record in the 4x800.
Whoa.
And they also had John Cole and Brady Agramson win events down there. The girls finished 5th out of 7 teams, and I believe their only first place was the 4x2 relay. So, Dewey, it's not your fault. I'm pushing things that I don't see anymore. But thanks for sending the results anyway. Boys, I just am not hearing anything on the Waseca track teams this year.
I don't know. They're doing all right. I know that. Carter, Mr. Carter, I call him, he's doing well in the high jump. He had like 6'4".
And I imagine Mr. Strike holds his own.
Yeah, but you'd think that Dave Abel's got time to at least get some results to it.
I know early in the year that Dave's big concern was their lack of speed this year. They just didn't have stuff in the short sprints that were going to make them a good overall team. I think he might put his results up on that door across from the coach's room. Or in the hallway.
The AD's office there?
Yeah,
okay.
I think he might do that. And if I can see this week, I'll try and check that out a little bit.
You look at, like, Nick Buckley's out for golf. Last year he was on a winning relay team. And then you got, like, go see Jack Milbrett. You know, there's a runner that could be out. And we got some guys that they should be out for spring sports. Yep. And then just remember, Barry Switzer said, if my daggone football players are going to go out for anything, they're going out for track. Because what's the big thing you do in football? You run. So get them out for track.
Well, let's look at the area softball teams, Teddy. JWP 4-8 for the season. They lost to Waterville 9-7 in a close game. They lost to Martin County West 17-9, and then they bounced back with a 15-4 win. Or no, they did beat St. Clair 15-4. They're 4-8 for the year. Monday they play Blooming Prairie. Heard any info on the Bulldogs?
They got a little waking girl. It's doing very well. She's getting on base and scoring all the time. And you got this young Crow girl. She's hitting the ball like every game. Seems like she got 2 or 3 hits. And they had a comeback on the one. They were down and they came back. And the Storjahan, the pitcher, she's doing a good job. So they're competitive and they're in the right direction and they're young.
Wendy Schultz, the NRHEG Panther softball team, 7-3 overall this season. They defeated USC 13-0 in a short one, and then lost a 7-6 game to WEM last week. Tuesday they will travel to Maple River. Wendy's having a good year down there, and I think she has a lot of young girls playing.
Is that who's their pitcher?
Anna Lundberg.
Okay.
Yep.
I mean, anytime you got a Lundberg on your team, you got a competitor.
WEM, Crystal Lamont has turned them around. I think they started out 4-0, and then they lost like 4 in a row. They're now 11-4 for the year. They defeated JWP, they bounced Randolph, and they beat NRHEG, a 3-0 week last week for the Buccaneers. As we mentioned, 11-4 overall. Monday they play Faribault Academy.
I'm going to make a prediction. They had their prom about that time they won their swoon.
Okay.
I'm going to make a prediction.
Yep. Okay. That could do her.
Yep, because your hair's got to be right. You can't be worrying about a softball game.
And Coxie, Melissa Cox's Waseca softball team,
hey.
They are 5-7 for the year. They defeated Blue Earth 8-6. Yesterday made the long trek down to Worthington and swept the doubleheader from the Trojans. So it sounds like the Jays are starting to turn things around a little bit as well.
They had what, 4 home runs?
Yes.
2 by a little Knoll girl.
Yep.
And who was the other one hit the home? Remember?
Someone else had 2 as well.
Yeah.
They had 4 home runs in the doubleheader.
All right.
I know we went down to Worthington last year and it was a pretty good gale. It's kind of like playing at our home out there in the prairie. It's always blowing there, so maybe it was blowing out and helping things a little bit. Who knows?
There's a famous Waseca girl down there, teacher down there, Worthington, Deb Coons.
Oh, really?
Yep. Now it's Deb Martin. She used to be a big player for me back when I first started coaching.
Yeah.
She was a real competitor. Donna Hodgkins out at the high school. That's her sister.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tuesday, the Jays will entertain Fairmont at home.
All right. Go Cards.
Baseball teams in the area, Teddy, JWP struggling a little bit this year. They're 5-6. They defeated Waterville, I thought, in a little bit of an upset.
Yeah.
8-4. Then they lost to St. Clair 7-2, and they lost to Grenada Huntley East Chain 13-1.
Yeah.
Wow. 5-6 for the Bulldogs. Thursday, they travel to Maple River.
I think little Tommy Gannon got the Waterville one, if I remember right.
Okay.
So at least he's come around. That ankle must be healed up.
NRHEG, they are 4-8 for the spring. They lost to USC 4-1. they defeated Zumbrota 4-1, and then lost to Waterville 12-2 in the area battle. 4-8, as we mentioned. Tuesday they play Maple River at home.
All right.
WEM 7-5, and I think they're probably a little disappointed with that because they have 3 really good pitchers.
Mm-hmm.
They lost to Janesville, as we mentioned. They lost to TCU 6-4, and then they bounced back with the win over New Richland. Monday they will play at Faribault Academies. They do have 3 excellent pitchers. When we beat them, we faced number 2.
Okay.
And Jay Schneider told me we've got 3 pretty good pitchers, so if we hit the ball, we're pretty good.
Must not be hitting the ball.
Must not be hitting the ball. And the Waseca Blue Jays, Teddy, they had a 7-game winning streak until yesterday. Monday, the Jays beat St. Peter 10-2, and I have to tell you about the brilliant move of Coach Hayford in that game. Reed Conway had been batting 9th in the order for us, had 3 hits in 10 games. Hayf said, I just got a feeling, move him to lead off today, he goes 4 for 5. More hits than he had the first 10 games.
Now we're talking about the guy that's sitting down to your left?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hayf.
Okay.
You bet. He doesn't always like to
Well,
talk.
that's probably why he's not here, because he's thinking all those strategic moves, and it takes a lot of brain power to do that. Can't be sitting here talking to us.
Then Tuesday, we defeated Jordan 8-3. Jordan is coached by Brent Garacki. Remember he pitched for the Braves a couple of years? He gave us all big bear hugs when we walked in, full beard now. And
Grizzly Adams.
They are a very well-coached team. You can see he knows what he's doing because they take infield, outfield, and they do things the right way.
Good.
We defeated them 8-3 to run the win streak to 7. And then yesterday we have Worthington coming to town, our home game in Waterville.
Yeah.
And Worthington was about the same record as we were, around the 500 mark. The Jays lost 3-2 and 1-0 in a doubleheader. In Game 1, Eric Moss pitched. The 3 runs scored. 1 run scored after a balk, moved him into position. 1 run scored after back-to-back wild pitches moved into position. The 3rd run scored on a wild pitch. That was their 3 runs. Waseca was no hit until the 7th inning. Trailing 3-0, did not have a hit against a left-hander, probably bringing it about 65.
Okay.
Hank Hagan beats out an infield hit to ruin the no-hitter. Dakota Williamson walks. Uriah Pacine drills one over the center fielder's head. Both runs score. He's on second, tying run on second.
With nobody out?
2 outs.
Okay.
Derek Wabshaw comes out, who was only into the lineup because one of our starters was unavailable for action yesterday. Derek Wabshaw hits a blue darter at shortstop, and it hits Pacine.
No.
The runner, which is a dead ball. The game's over. And the shortstop afterward for Worthington said, I never even saw it. It would have been by him. The tying run would have walked home. That's the way things go. In Game 2, we have Hank Hagan on the mound, pitching very well. Only run of the game scores. They have first and second, nobody out. Hit a soft one-hopper back to Hank. We're thinking 2. He fumbles it, rolls away, picks it up, back to first, spins and throws it about 20 feet away from first. The runner from second walks home. That's the only run of the game. But again, we did not hit the ball. We did not play sharp mentally. And we did not deserve to win those games playing that way. We aren't a team that's talented enough to, make dumb mistakes and overcome them this year.
Our talent, yeah.
So the Jays are now 7-7. Tuesday we make the long trek to Fairmont.
Still had a 7-game winning streak.
Yeah, had a 7-game winning streak.
All right. Well, we started another one.
Yep, you bet. Well, Teddy, as I mentioned, with the bad eyesight, we could take no notes. So lean back. You and I are now just going to free ball for a little bit.
Well, no, how about you've got to talk a little bit
We're going to start with MSU baseball.
Okay, yeah. Good Lord.
4-game sweep over Sioux Falls. 10 games in a row they've won.
You see the first game yesterday?
Tink texted Hafe and I, and he said the first game took 3 hours and 17 minutes.
You see the final score?
Yeah.
What was it?
23 to something or other.
You turn it on, you swear to God you watch a football game and this guy's running all over the place.
Over 3 hours. Tink
Yeah.
was probably really in his glory to be at the ballpark for a 6-7 hour day, huh?
It was unbelievable. Yeah, but 10 games in a row.
10 in a row, and they're the 4 seed heading into the tournament this week.
Talk about having a full head of steam. And then you can talk to MSU women's team?
Yep.
Okay.
Softball team. What did they lose? The second or third game of the...
Second and third, 2-zip, both of them.
Lost both of them.
Yeah,
Huh?
they lost number 1 seed, that Missouri team, and then they lost comeback. I remember it was 2-0. Coley Reese set a record. She had 1,000 strikeouts. In her
And
career.
she'll be back.
Yep. So she had
That's a good place to start around
strikeouts.
next year, isn't it?
Yeah. I don't even shoot. She could. Well, maybe she could pitch against the Twins. You could have 1,000 strikeouts in
no
about
kidding.
2 years. Yeah.
No kidding.
No problem.
The Gusties, they did something yesterday they haven't done for a long time. They swept St. Thomas in baseball. And I see the Baker boys have Gusty at 20-18 for the year, over 500. And they've had a lot of mediocre and below years in a row.
Would you see the age of those guys on the coaching staff?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
They brought in another guy about 70.
Yeah. Experience.
That's
experience.
it. That's it.
The Jeff's softball crew, they lost out in the tournament. I think they lost the second elimination game yesterday.
Okay, I didn't see that.
So they're out of it.
But they were playing well when he came back from his curling.
And had another very good year for Gustavus softball.
Yep.
Let's talk a little on the national scene, Ted, first and foremost.
You didn't say anything about Bethany.
I don't know a thing about Bethany today. That's why I'm not saying anything.
Well, they hired a new basketball coach.
Yes, I did see that.
Okay, all right.
No one that we know.
No.
Just
But you know what I loved is they said the reason they hired him for continuity. They want to have some continuity. And I looked at his record, okay, and he was 1 year at Anoka.
Yeah, he's been about six different places.
Yeah, in about 8 years. I think the longest he's been anywhere is 3 years, and they're bringing him in for continuity. I was thinking, okay.
Didn't quite make sense, did it?
No, it didn't. Okay.
The Wild have hired a new coach.
Yes, they have.
Mr. Anaheim Ducker.
Yep. Remember
Bruce Boudreau.
Boudreau, baby. In the boudoir.
They did not want to waste any time on that once he became available, did they?
No. Boudreau in the boudoir. I always like that. I don't know what the boudoir means. What's it mean?
Ask the girls in the van.
Yeah, you find out everything there.
Yeah. Okay.
What do you think of the hire?
I like it. Well, I can't believe how both the Timberwolves and the Wild come up with these really great coaches on the rebound. I can't believe the teams let them go in the first place.
Yeah.
It's just insane, but that's the coaching trade today. It's a win or you're gone. I don't care what your record was.
I heard driving here this morning on the ESPN radio show that there are at least 5 NBA jobs open, and the guy that was doing the show said, if I was one of those coaches that just got fired, I'd take a year off and travel because there's not one of those jobs you'd want.
No. Well, hockey, same way. How many hockey? As soon as the team's eliminated in playoffs, boom, fire the coach.
But you look at the New York Knicks, who have been terrible for years, and have Phil Jackson out meditating with his guru instead of worrying about hiring a coach.
The Zen master.
You have the Sacramento Kings, who has an owner that thinks you're supposed to play 4-on-5 defense because that's what his girls' team does, his high school daughter's team. You have the Indiana Pacers, who they were talking that Bird just did something goofy with this coach, just said I'm advertising or something and gave him no support.
Would you see, he said he wouldn't hire Kevin McHale because he wouldn't put him in that spot?
Yeah.
I think, what a nice guy.
You have the Memphis job, who has the Minnesota kid that the Timberwolves almost hired last year.
Yep.
And you have Memphis.
It's amazing.
And there's one more, I think, that's open that I'm not remembering right now. But
the carousel.
This guy said, none of them are jobs you'd want.
No.
He said, play a Tom Thibodeau. Take a year off and then see what opens up.
Or Van Gundy.
Yeah.
I mean, he'd probably be getting hired by somebody, but it's unbelievable. What money, it's unbelievable.
Teddy, your Minnesota Twins are quickly working themselves out of the season right now at the start.
Well, they're not bad for a minor league team.
They're 8-22, and they're burying themselves so deep that they're never going to get out.
Well, they had a 4-man roster change just in 2 days.
And they've lost the powerful Casey Fiend now because the Dodgers claimed him.
Yeah.
Nobody wonder if they offered to throw in Nerlasco along with that.
Hey, Who's got the most wins on the team?
God, don't even go there.
You can't blame it on the pitching, okay? The hitting's been pretty abysmal, too.
It's unacceptable
I
that
know.
major leaguers could take swings like they're taking.
Oh.
Where is Eddie Rosario, who we thought was on the verge of becoming an all-star last year? I've seen him 5 times swing at pitches over his head.
Yep.
That just doesn't happen.
Well, you look at Arcia. All of a sudden he has one good at bat, and then about 3 in a row he's swinging at balls.
Yeah, and he
in the
has
dirt.
one good at bat, and you think he just won the World Series the way he struts around.
Who's the hitting coach?
Rudo.
Tom Bernansky. Well, it looked like Dozier was coming out of his slump. He's batting just terrible, and he had that poor Murphy kid. I felt sorry for him when he had 3 hits and 40 at bats.
Yeah, except
Probably sent him
Suzuki
down.
is worse.
Yeah. And then you have Escobar
man.
goes on, was it DL?
15-day,
Yeah.
yeah.
And you lose 2 of your starting pitchers going to DL, and Santana goes back yesterday and doesn't look very good. Yeah, it's only 162 games, though, right?
Oh, man.
So
Man.
how many we got left?
Oh,
130?
too many. Too many.
Could turn it around.
Yeah, it could, but
That's where-
not seeing many signs yet.
Hey, when the team deserves it the least because they're playing as low, that's when they need the most support. Okay, anybody can jump on the bandwagon when they're winning.
Bernansky.
Yeah, get rid of Bransky, get rid of Molitor. Just last year was a fluke. No, I feel sorry for him because he's a nice guy, and last year he did a nice job, and this year there's no wheels on them. They're gone. They just rolled off the road somewhere.
Big event yesterday, of course, was the Kentucky Derby.
Yep, named after a hockey player.
Nyquist,
Yep.
who you remember him by thinking of NyQuil,
No. Okay, that's how you do it?
Yeah.
Okay.
was what became, I think, I read the 8th undefeated horse going in that won the Derby.
Yep. And who was the Triple Crown winner last year?
Oh,
See how quickly we forget?
yeah, I
American
know.
Pharaoh, baby.
Yep, you got her.
That
Yeah.
was the first time since whatever. But you ever watched the movie Secretariat?
Yeah,
I like that movie.
me too.
You know, the one guy always comes in second, and he's a big blowhard, and then she says, "You got the best horse for coming in first runner-up all the time." I like that show.
Teddy, you got anything else? huh?
Seabiscuit. You remember Seabiscuit?
Oh,
Another
yeah,
great
that was
movie.
my
Okay.
all-time favorite.
We got 2 minutes. Andy, you
Seabiscuit.
got anything?
No.
How about the Lynx? See what the Lynx did?
The Lynx are 1 week away from opening, huh?
Did you see who they re-signed after she took a year off? You
Big
talking about
Janelle.
Janelle McCarville. For those of
Yep.
you who don't remember the pic she set on the Lindsay Whalen girl and knocked her out. Where's the girl
She'll
from?
give him some muscle, won't she?
Oh, God. She's a...
She's a farm girl.
Yeah, I don't want to say it. Okay. How do I politely say that?
I don't
Save it
know.
for the van.
Okay. Yeah, she's... Well, yeah, they're going to be loaded. They had to wait to start the season.
And Lindsay took the winter off to rest and recover. First time ever.
She needed that.
Yep.
And then you got Diana Taurasi who goes over to Russia and takes a year off in the WNBA for $1 million. Would you take a year off for $1 million? Talk about lack of team. Oh, jeez. No, I mean, they would have won. Phoenix would have won the title if she'd have played, right? And what they got? That big grinder girl.
Yep.
Anything else new with any other sports up in the cities at all? We got
Not that I know of.
lacrosse. I've been watching lacrosse, and Mankato's just getting started.
That's
and
good. You watch it for me too, would you?
No, I just thinking there's just so many high school athletics to choose from right now. The kids have a hard choice, especially now when you got in the fall and the spring. What do God almighty, I don't know where they're going to, some of these schools, if we want to start lacrosse here, I don't know where they get the players. And I'm sure there's going to be somebody pushing for it.
Well, the sad part is you can start it, but now your other sports will all lose 2-3 players to go try it.
Yep. And then
And we aren't big enough to do that.
No, we weaken the whole system.
Yep.
Other than that, I can't think of anything we could. Mother's Day, we got to talk about that.
You got a song, Ted?
Yep, I got a song. Okay, by the Shirelles.
All
Okay,
right.
you remember the song by the Shirelles?
Well, I don't know.
Mama said there'd be days like this.
yeah.
There'd be days like this.
My mama said.
Mama said. Mama said. Mama said. Mama said there'd be
Mommy
days.
singing.
Well, for those of you that still have your mothers, obviously mine's looking down on me right now when I'm doing this goofy beret of hers on. But the flowers, last week I got some complaints about the roses that were artificial from Andy, but it was at least decorated the stand here. So today, these are Gerbera daisies I'll be putting in the garden, and they're kind of a reflection of Mother's Day with the flowers. And moms, I can give you all kinds of stories of my mom when I'd be over at Janesville riding back from practice, and I'd call her up, and she'd be my co-pilot. And then we talk all the way home, and then I get in the driveway, and the car would be a little quiet. So, oh, honey, you must be home. Yeah, Mom, I'm home. Oh, well, I'm glad you had a safe trip. I am too, Mom. And then she'd always have this favorite stage to say, outside of that, honey, nothing new here at home. And then so that's what I did a eulogy for, and it was outside of that. So, Mom, I know you're looking down, and I miss you. And God, mothers are just special. There's just something about them.
That'll do her for this week's show. Thanks to Steve and Hudson for producing the show. Thanks to my right-hand man, Ted Hammond. Thanks to him. Oh, sorry.
Your left-hand man.
Right. We're sorry once again we didn't have time for Coach Hayford. We'll try to work him in next week. Thanks to you for watching. Hopefully we'll see you all next week.
Mama said there'd be days like this.